Hey there, let's go over Fadia's kit today. The only thing notable about her basic attack is her passive on it, which makes her take damage whenever your main character takes damage. The redirect damage is 50%, so that means if your main character takes 1k damage, they will instead take 500 damage, and Fadia will take the other 500 damage. Then we have her skill. You presses her skill and it places down her cross, and then gives a debuff to every enemy in range, and the enemy with the highest HP will take a percentage max HP damage whenever Fadia takes damage. So if your main character is on the field and it takes damage, then Fadia will take 50% of that damage from her basic attack passive, and then 50%, and then a certain percentage of that redirect damage will be taken by the mob's max HP from his skill damage if the debuff is on the mob. So for the ultimate, it's basically just whenever Fadia is below a certain threshold, the ultimate will heal her, and you'll get to do 5 basic attacks with enhanced damage that's based off her max HP. Then we have her first passive, or her cycle in passive, which is gonna be her support skill. It does 1 instance of damage like everybody else. Then we have her first passive, which is gonna be specifically for the Nova enhancement, which means you have to Esper cycle with Fadia to apply the Nova debuff on the mob, and whenever you do damage to the mob, they will take a percentage HP damage from that, and it will also give your characters up to 10% max HP every time you damage the mob. And at the end of the Nova debuff, it will heal Fadia for a percentage of her max HP. The second passive just gives 10% max HP to your entire team, pretty simple. Then we have her life skill, which just earns you more funds whenever you use the Swift Cap for burning city stamina. Let's get into her build. Her build is gonna be mostly the same as the character in-game guide. We're gonna be using the Tiny Big Adventure for the console, which is gonna be the only set bonus that's really worth using on her. Her stats are gonna be HP percentage, flat HP, and double crit. If you are using Fadia to Esper cycle, which you most likely are going to be, you will want to change the flat HP for cycle intensity, or if you don't care about her damage, you'll change the crit to cycle intensity. That is gonna be everything for her build you really need to know. Then we have her weapons. She really doesn't have any weapon options besides Eternal Vaults, which is just the best option for her. It just increases max HP, makes you do more damage, and increases mental damage, which makes you do more damage. That's all there is to say about Fadia build. Now let's get into her team comps. One of her best team comps is most likely going to be Lacrimosa. Sakiri, Hanel, Fadia is what we are probably gonna be cooking up. There are some variations to this team comp, like you can swap Hanel out for Baichang, so you can run Lacrimosa, Baichang, Sakiri, Fadia. There's a few variations to this team comp. Then you also have one with Chaos, which is gonna be another good team comp for Fadia, where you can run Sakiri, Fadia, Hanel, Chaos, or you can run Sakiri, Fadia, Lacrimosa, Chaos, or you can run Sakiri, Fadia, Chaos, Daffodil. Those are gonna be her best team comps. Obviously there's a lot of flexibility here in her best team comps, and we don't know for sure if those are gonna be her actual best team comps, but from the Esper cycle we can assume that these are the best team comps she's ever gonna get, even if she isn't going to be the best fit in, as Hanel can often take her slot, especially early game when we don't have a lot of investment in Fadia. She won't be doing a lot of damage, and therefore you can just slot in Hanel. The only reason we would really slot in Fadia instead of Hanel is if Chaos or Lacrimosa doesn't scale with attack percentage. That makes Hanel completely useless, and you'd want to slot in Fadia instead. Otherwise, Fadia can be slotted into basically any team. If you have a slot free and you don't know who to put there, you can always just put Fadia in there to take less damage and make your endgame a little bit easier. Outside of that, I don't really recommend investing into Fadia for now, but those are her best team comps if you were wondering. She doesn't really have a rotation, besides you just swap into her, press Alt, press E and swap out, like most support characters. You can just swap into her whenever her HP is below 50% to use her ult. So let's get into her awakenings. The first awakening is just increasing the redirect damage from 50% to 75%. The next one is just gonna increase the redirect damage from her E, so it does more damage. The third one is just increasing her max HP by 30%. The fourth one is gonna increase how much she heals whenever she presses her ult. The fifth one is gonna be crit rate, 50% crit rate when you press her ult. And the third one is gonna make your E skill AoE, so you can now do the debuff on multiple enemies instead of only doing damage to one. For the recommended awakenings, it's gonna be A5 as the first one, A1 as the second one, then it's gonna be A3 in my opinion for the extra max HP for damage. Then it's gonna be A6 so you can use her on AoE floors for more damage. Then A2 to increase that damage even further. And then the last one is gonna be the healing one on her ult, A4. Then let's get into her gifts. The most worth for your funds is gonna be Classic Trio at 100 points. The second most worth it is gonna be Glimmering Eyes at 400 points. That is everything for the Fadia guide. Hope to see you again next time.